Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
And we are live. It's another Wicked Horror Show. I'm Kevin. And as always, I'm joined by Tony.
What is going on, people?
And today, we're joined by some friends, some longtime friends, friends of the network. They have a show on the network as well. They have a new project in the works with Bill Diamond, who, if you're from this area especially, you've seen him at conventions. But we're talking to the guys behind Toking with the Dead. We're adding Jeff to the stream. What's up, Jeff? Fingers crossed that technical issues don't happen anymore. Then we have Bill and we have Ben. So Bill Diamond, you are a legend in this, just in general. If you're at any comic book conventions or even horror conventions around the New England area, especially, like that's where I know you from mostly. But you always have the coolest stuff at your booth, and you're been doing this for what, like 30 years, 40 years, something like that.
I'm having trouble connecting. This is often caused by.
Well, anyways,
I wasn't sure what you asked me.
I was asking how long you've been in the puppetry business.
Close to 50 years.
Wow. And you've worked with Jim Henson. You've done a lot. You've been involved in quite a bit. Correct.
I have a hand in it.
Yeah, literally, because you're.
Wow.
So, Jeff, is it still freezing up on you?
Still freezing. Can't hear anybody.
Yeah, he's not getting in.
Yep.
Just come out here and grab a chair.
Yeah, come over there. Go over there, Jeff.
Grab a chair. It's fine.
Sit in the middle.
Yeah, Jeff in the middle.
We can do this.
Hey, do I
If you're
look
in the
like
middle.
meat for a sandwich?
I don't want to be the sandwich.
Well, I'll tell you what. You could be the center of attraction. Where are you? The seat's empty. Get over here.
Yeah. Yep. But anyways, so hopefully that'll solve things. But yeah, so Bill, I really liked the choice. When these guys have been working on. So you guys have been working on trying to get something done on film for your comic for a while now, and when it was announced that you were working with Bill, I was pretty excited because the one thing there's there's a lot of zombie stuff out there, but the one thing that there's a different style that Bill has, and even looking at the even just the trailer for the release, it has like a different look, and you just need something to stand out. So that works.
No, it wasn't us.
It wasn't us that
we don't stand out.
No, we don't stand out.
No, Bill made us look good.
No, you know what I'm saying. It's not typical looking zombie stuff. Obviously you have the weed stuff in there as well, but with the different aesthetic that Bill provides, because it's definitely unique in a very good way. So I think that's going to make you guys stand out even more. So I'm glad you went that route, because I know that there was other routes that you were looking at before then, and I'm glad you went the route you went, because I'm like, from what I've seen, I'm happy with it. So that's what matters, right?
It's circumstance, and everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah. So how long have you guys been working on this in total? Like you said you're filming the third now. You're wrapping stuff with the second episode.
We started back in September.
Yeah,
I think we
we
started shooting back in September of last year for issue 1.
So are you doing it issue by issue, or are you gonna continue farther than where you've gone with the comic?
Depends on how much I drink.
The main scheme behind it is right now we have the 4 comics out.
Mhm.
Issue 5 just went into artwork. Jeff wants me more in here. He thinks my face was half cut off.
Well, then screw you both.
But what we're trying to do is, or what Bill wants to try to do is, he wants to try to catch up to where we are, so that we have a few of them in the can. I guess is that how you put it?
Well, we're trying to put it like so that the comic book came out first, so you're up to issue 4 going into 5,
Right.
and the show is 1 going into 3, so it's like 2 issues back from the comic book, so
Right.
people could follow the comic book, and then an issue will come out, then a comic book will come out, and then an issue will come out, and a comic book will come out, but it'll always be like 2 behind the comic book.
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, that'll be good. I mean, it's, I don't know. I mean, because like with I know it's blasphemous to mention, but with The Walking Dead, they didn't follow the comic like extremely close. So you could always go that route as well. Like maybe some things that you're like, hey, you know what? We can't pull this off in the comic. Let's pull it off in real life, or the other way around. You know?
Oh, I have no problem crashing them in cars or throwing them off of.
I was just gonna say the shit that he's pulling out of his ass to throw in this series.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's going to come into play in the series that's not necessarily in the comic, and that's creative, brainstorming between the 3 of us, as well as our other co-host Ashley, who's I don't know where the fuck she is. I think she's working tonight, but and also our makeup artist who's hiding in the corner over there. But we all powwow.
Well, we make up for her.
But yeah, the comic is really just a guide. You know what I mean? If you go watch episode 1, I mean, there ain't no fucking boat. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There ain't no boat.
There's no boat in the comic. But
there ain't no boat.
They're looking for a boat in the movie or in the episode.
Yeah. So that's the thing too, is originally you guys were going to do a movie. Like what made you decide to make it like episodic? It was Bill?
Yeah. I said movie ain't going to do crap for him.
He just wanted us to keep coming down here.
Well, the thing is a movie would have been a one shot, and there it is. You have the movie, that's great and all that. But since they're building the series and the whole platform around it, they have their live shows, they have all that other stuff, the podcast. It just made sense to kind of create it into a series, which is a lot more fun for the audience. It's a lot more creative. A movie can come and go, and it doesn't have always longevity.
Yeah.
Where this would actually travel a lot better.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, what are you saying, Tony?
I was going to say because sometimes I guess it depends on the movie and show, because sometimes you'll have the show first and then you can lead into a movie later or something along those lines. Sometimes it's like the reverse of it, where you'll see like a group of movies, like a movie and a sequel, and then it has a TV spinoff. But usually it's the opposite way around, where you have a long running TV show, and then they'll come out with like a full length movie with it. So I think in that sense, you could build up episodes, depending on, I don't know if you're going for like seasons, or each episode is just going to be like its own little thing, and then build up to, okay, here's a movie like Breaking Bad or something along those lines.
Well, you can also take the whole season or whole 1 and 2 seasons and break it up and re-edit it and put it into as one film. Yeah. So it can be introduced as one big piece. Yeah. On the internet, it serves its purpose. They can put it out maybe in a download or another form, and put it all together as a full running element, and they add some new elements into it, and then you have a film. You don't have to recreate the wheels. So it can go either way.
Nice.
I just think they get more time. With everything that's online and streaming and everything now, you've got much more that people can grasp onto. You can expand it, you can contract it, you can add new elements that's not necessarily in the series. A movie's a one-shot deal a lot of the times, and that's it.
Yeah. So we have Sergio in the chat. He's in the chat all the time. He
Yes,
just wanted to make sure. Yeah. So he just wanted to make sure that he knows you guys. You know, he's like, hey, I know those guys. So he's asking about the movie or what it is. So it was originally going to be a movie based off of your comic book, The Toking Dead, and now it's a series. Episode 1 is out. Episode 2 is getting wrapped up, and then you guys are filming episode 3. And I mean, and so you're up in New York, Bill, right?
Yeah, we're in the Hudson Valley. We're right in, not right down up the road from West Point.
Okay. So you guys have to make the trek all the time, which I'm sure is fun. I mean, to be honest with you, like just watching the videos of like your area, I'm just like, I would love to just like hang out there. Like your studio just looks really cool. Like I would just be like a kid in a candy store, and then you'd probably kick me out for ruining something. But
it's a big place.
Yeah.
You know, we can shoot all around the we were on 10 acres. So and the building probably sits on 3 of those. So you know, they got 90,000 square feet to run around in. So literally.
Yeah. I've seen and how difficult is it for Jeff to run in those slippers?
We throw them in the Hudson. We have our own lagoon right outside from filming. So when the boat does come in, he's off it.
Yeah, the slippers are tough, to answer your question.
All you see is the slippers left. He's in the water, and the slippers are just there. That'd be good.
No, wet slippers get very heavy.
Yeah.
We like to see him sliding away.
Yeah, nice. So how much of the how strict to the first issue of the comic are you staying? Is it
Not at all.
None?
Well, no, I'm going to say that I think there's some very, very important elements that had to be directly, from the comic book, and I think that we captured those.
Yeah.
But
so the infamous page. What was the page? What was that infamous page?
Page 17.
Yeah, is that in it?
Yeah, no, page 17 didn't make the cut into the film for multiple reasons.
Right.
The multiple reasons would be that Ashley's married.
Yeah.
I'm married. What's married, and we all wanted to stay that way.
We were, they wouldn't let me switch it around. I was gonna take the place of that.
Oh, I would have.
Yeah. We have a great makeup artist, but she's not that good.
Yeah, like on the line of like sleepaway camp, Like,
I'm old enough. I have man boobs. I could have done it.
Well,
I think we all do. All right.
I would assume that you have not had an opportunity to watch it.
I haven't yet. No, I haven't. I have too many things to watch, unfortunately. But I haven't watched it. But I'm sorry. I've watched it.
Here's the deal, man, because we're going to be looking for extras coming up over the next, I would say, 3 or 4 months, where we're going to need a decent amount of people to
drag,
to run over and drag.
Right.
But one of the rules is you have to watch episode 1.
Well, I mean, I'm going to.
Oh no, I was dropping that in your lap.
Yeah. I will. I'll totally watch episode 1, and then if you want me there, I'll be there. It just that depends if you want to. I have a lot of extra skin now, so you can use that to your
advantage.
Yeah.
Well, that's for the makeup department.
Oh,
buy extra paint.
I was gonna say you can use like chip clips or something. Just pull it back.
No, we got glue guns.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
But speaking of you, I have noticed over the past 6 months you've lost a ton of weight. Congratulations.
132. I'm down 132.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Good times.
Good for you.
I was very nervous with this whole pandemic thing that was going to change, but I've been strict with it, so that's good. But yeah, that would be any opportunity I have to get involved in anything. I'm all about it. So yeah, keep me posted, and I will watch episode 1. I promise.
Yeah, it's funny because they call it episode. What I call them chapters. So every time I'm dealing with these guys, it's another chapter in my life.
Yeah.
Originally it was issues,
right?
Because we have issues,
and issues was part of it too.
Yeah.
I said that the film is fun, campy, and entertaining, and it's like a great B horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to pay attention. It's a movie that we've gotten a lot of feedback on, where people have said, I watched it the first time, I laughed my ass off, but then I watched it the second time, and I missed a whole bunch of one-liners, so I had to go back and watch it a third time.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
It's just supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And it's really what it is. It's fun, like the comic book. I mean, you get to learn a couple of interesting things in it, but it's just supposed to be fun.
The biggest thing they learn is we can't fucking act.
Oh. But as far as like all the informational stuff in the comic book where you talk about like decarping and all
there's a little bit in there.
Yeah,
right.
It's done a little differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the comic, we used quite a bit of, the yellow info boxes and, stuff like that. I think we're gonna move a little bit closer to that.
Well, yeah, we'll still have.
We still have some of that.
Yeah,
but we're
without
trying to get it
ruining
more
it.
into the dialogue.
Yeah, we kind of act out more of that. Of the informational aspects of it.
Yeah. So one of the big questions is, what do you actually smoke on set? Like, you can't be, or is it?
Well, it depends on how, it depends on what. No, really, it does. It depends on what we're shooting. Like, most of the time, if it's going to be a long day of shooting, we'll do CBD or a CBG, because anybody that's in the cannabis industry or that uses CBD knows the effects. You don't get that psychoactive side of the effect, so you get really relaxed and and it just makes for fun. But there's been some instances where it's like, oh shit, we didn't roll anything, so I'll grab a bud out of the jar and we pack it in the bong, and we're actually smoking straight THC there, and
and there's gummies involved too.
Well, yeah, there's gummies.
Speaking of that, Tony's asking if anyone has any edibles to send him his way. No.
No.
I did give some away. I got some as like a giveaway for something, and they were way too strong, and I gave them to my father-in-law, and he's like, I didn't feel anything.
Oh. Yeah, everybody's different.
Yeah.
Well, he's also been doing it his whole life. These were, I want to say they were 20 milligrams each gummy, and I cut it into thirds. I took a third, and I was like, never again. I'm not doing this again.
See, I'm the same way. I'm a low doser. Like, I do 5. Depending on what we're doing, like you've seen us at Comic Cons and stuff. Yeah. So at cons, I'll do a 10 in the morning, and then every couple of hours, I'll do another 10. So I stay that maintain that goofy joking all day long that that you see us at the events. But other than that, a 5.
Yeah.
And I don't do anything.
Yeah. Well, that's probably the best thing. That's probably good.
What's funny with me is that I have to deal with them and keep them on track.
They seem pretty. I mean, they seem. I mean, to be honest, I've been around them, at cons and stuff. They don't ever seem out of control. So,
come to the filming. Hudson's right nearby.
Okay,
you make you walk the plank at any time.
All right, cool. So the actually, I saw that in there's some seltzers that are out now that are like 5 milligrams per can, and I want to track those down, see what they're like.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I know some of the dispensaries they sell. I think they can't sell more than 50 milligrams, and they have to be 5 apiece. What are you two doing over there?
He's trying to steal my beer.
I took his beer.
I can't take these,
which is actually his because he gave it to me.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't take them anywhere.
Yeah,
just telling you.
But no, now see, I do 20 to 30 milligrams typically, and I've been known to do 75 or more.
Holy crap!
Yeah. I think it was like 3 weeks ago on our live show, or 4 weeks ago. We were here, and Jeff thought he was taking like 30 milligrams. It was like 130. And literally, I mean, if you've seen the pictures of the studio, it's longer than a football field from where Bill's office is to where the sound stages are that we normally shoot on. Mm-hmm. And that's where Jeff was. He was all by himself down there. And he literally sat through the entire live show. We thought he was frozen. He's like, I'm hearing creepy shit down here. Yeah, he was fucking wasted. It was great.
So Sergio's asked multiple times to see the trailer, so I'm going to play the trailer.
Sure.
So for those, including myself, who want to see the episode 1, issue 1, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
Vimeo, or if you go just to your website, right?
Well, we found that Vimeo's having issues streaming to Roku right now for some reason. So people are getting the audio, but the video side's not coming through, which sucks. Especially, when you want to watch something. So the best thing we tell them is to go to
The website.
our website under filming.
Yep.
Just click on filming. It pops right up. It says episode 1. I mean, the trailer's underneath that. But there's a lot of cool shit on the website. It's all been redesigned. We've got a place in there called the Artist Corner now, where it talks about all the great artists that we've worked with, like Joe St. Pierre and Steve Levine, Jay Moores, Delmerge over in the UK, and Bill actually has his own page there.
Yeah.
So you can see a lot of the really cool shit that he's done.
We were going to start a talent page, but we haven't gotten to that level yet.
No.
Talent.
Yeah, we have no talent.
We have no talent.
All right, so I'm going to play the trailer. So Sergio will be appeased, and he won't keep asking. So here you go, Sergio. Here's the trailer for Toking with the Dead.
And if you like it, Sergio,
Let him watch the trailer.
let him watch the trailer.
What would you do?
What the fuck are we going to do now? Get high.
We are the watching. We are the waiting. We are the remnant, host of vengeful souls forsaken. We'll show no mercy. We'll show no kindness. We'll strip your flesh and leave forgotten bones behind us. We are the uninvited. From photos if you dare, we would be so delighted. We are the uninvited. From focus if you dare, we would be so delighted for the chance to find you in despair. We are the uninvited. From photos if you dare, we would be so delighted for the chance to find you in despair. Despair, you're often in despair.
It was more fun that way.
There you go. There's the trailer, everybody. Go
Now,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Tom.
how long will each episode be? Will it be like a 30-minute thing, or an hour? Or
Oh, 1 second. Sorry. Repeat that. It was muted.
They're roughly about 25 minutes.
Nice.
Okay.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a decent time. And like you said, it would be easy enough to piece them together to make a movie after so many of them. That'd be easy.
Yeah.
And if it flows well enough to break up into episodes at the same time, that's perfect. So yeah,
Right.
that's awesome. So I'm happy for you guys for sure. I mean, you guys have been doing this for a while. You guys had some issues in the past, like legally, which now seem like
Issues keep coming up.
Because we have issues.
We have issues.
and
You know, I have the issues because they're here.
that's right. And hopefully that doesn't become legal either. No, but you've had some stuff like in the past that you guys have. You're pretty. You're working on it consistently, and you're doing what you need to do to get the word out. And you do the podcast on the network, and that's awesome. How's that going with you guys?
All of it, everything from the comic books to the writings to the podcast to what we're doing now. It's we're having fun. The podcast started, believe it or not, it was my idea. Jeff was dead set against it.
I didn't want to do it.
Wanted nothing to fucking do with it. And I kind of pulled the heartstring a little bit, and used Philo Barnhart. I don't know if you're familiar with Philo. He worked for Disney, second generation Disney legend. He did the Little Mermaid is his creation.
Oh wow!
But he worked on Star Trek. He worked for Hanna-Barbera. I mean, his list is amazing. And we befriended him just like we, with Bill and a bunch of the other awesome people that we get to chat with now. But he was doing the 30th anniversary for the Little Mermaid back in 2019, end of 2019.
Yeah.
And it was also the 40th anniversary for Star Trek motion picture, which he also worked on. And he said, I did a couple of interviews over the past year, and they never aired them. And I was like, what? Somebody of your caliber, and like they just never got aired. I'm like, you know what? So I talked to Leo, and I said, let's do this. Can we do something like that? And he's like, sure, let's do that. And we kicked off the podcast with that, and got a couple more really cool interviews and guests. And Jeff started to, okay, so this isn't too bad.
Yeah.
And then of course in February, that thing hit the country, the world, and shut everything down. We went from every other week to every week. We're 2 years in now. Our guest list amazing. And we're streaming, we're streaming on, I don't even know, I think anywhere between 9 and 12 platforms live every Wednesday, and then burning it down, flipping it onto the podcast side. And we're on 17 different channels podcasting worldwide. I don't know if you saw that. We were picked up by Pandora last week.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's a box I ain't opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I said it all the time before because I was a viewer before, getting into this whole thing. And it's just, when I explain it to people, like you were saying, you're doing all this stuff and you love it. It's not work if you love what you're doing. And at this point in time, when I got into the podcasting, as you could tell, I'm a movie buff. So being able to watch a movie and sit down and talk to the people behind it, and everybody's like, oh, but you don't get paid. I'm like, would it be nice? I'm not going to lie. Of course it would be. But if I never got paid a day in my life to do this stuff, I'd enjoy it just as much because, it's something I enjoy so much. And like you said, having awesome guests on, learning stuff you never would have known beforehand. And
Right.
it's just like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm learning to have fun with it.
no,
Yeah,
it's
he's
definitely.
getting
After
better.
2 years, you're just learning now to have fun with it after 2
He's
years.
getting better. And that's not true. He's actually really starting to enjoy the show more and more because of the guests.
Yeah.
Last week we interviewed Gary Van Syok, who was he's a legendary bass player, and he literally played with Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, and most famously John Lennon.
Mhm.
And
Little name dropping. John Lennon.
well, I'm just saying. I mean,
No, I'm just saying. I would drop it too. That's amazing. Like, that's great.
and not just that. I mean, who else can say that they can sit up here and have a 3-time Emmy Award winner as a co-host?
Right.
Where you want me to slide an Emmy in now so you can hold it?
Comes up
No,
from
I
the
told you
bottom.
I can't. The Emmy,
You're right over there.
the Emmy can't come anywhere near my hands unless it's mine. So that'll never happen.
I know. Never know.
You're correct. You're correct. No.
But no, I mean, like Tony said, it's all about having fun.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about the podcast and what I've learned since we started doing it is that, you got to find your niche. I'm not much of an interviewer, you know what I mean? But I can get information by cracking jokes, kind of making them feel not uncomfortable, but take them out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Which he does with me all the time.
Listen,
You know what I mean?
we have a bet.
Well, it works.
Yeah,
It does. It works. If you can pull somebody out of their comfort zone,
Well, like I did to you.
they open up a little bit.
Like I did to you.
You do that every fucking day because you're a dick.
That's right. But no, we have a bet. Like right before we go live, we'll make a bet on how long it takes before we can make Leo blush.
Oh, it doesn't take much though. I'll be honest.
No, he's getting
Really
better
doesn't.
though. He's getting
Well,
better.
there's been a lot that we've put him through as well over the years, where I'm just like, I'm like, I'll send him something like, hey, check this out, and he'd be like, why did you send me this? I'm like, I wanted to make you watch it. That's all.
You can watch the spoons.
Right?
Oh yeah.
We'll get Leo down here. We'll make him watch the fucking movie with the spoons. Yeah.
So yeah, there's been many movies where I'm like, hey, I want to get these people on, and we have to watch the movie to have them on or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, why did you do that to me? I'm like, solely because I wanted to. That's the only reason. So Bill, Leo and I are cousins. So we have history. We're cousins, and we started the whole podcast network together.
I kind of saw something there.
Well, it's funny. It's actually very funny because a lot of people have asked us, how we got introduced to the Dorkening Podcast Network, and it's always the same story. It's like we were at Super Mega Fest, and somebody pulled us out of our booth down to another affiliated type show that was set up next to you guys.
Yep.
We did the interview, and I don't know if it was you or Leo said to the gentleman that pulled us down there, can we get them for an interview tomorrow? And we came down, and I'm 99% sure that you actually were the one that interviewed us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Leo was off screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I gave Leo a ration of shit about not being on screen because I think it was you and Yo-Yo, right?
Probably, yeah. So like just a little side story. Leo does that all the time. So there was like totally off topic of the movie and everything, but we were at Terrificon, and I was working, and I had to drive after work to get there. It was like over an hour. I get there, and he's like, "Hey, all right, cool. The con closes in like 15 minutes. I set up these interviews for you with these guys." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "You've been here all day. You can do them." And he's like, "Oh, but you're better. You're whatever." I'm like, "Come on." And I'm like, "I'm not doing them. I don't even know who these people are. I'm like, give me some time to research at least, so I have some questions to ask." And so he does that stuff all the time. But he's family. I love him. So
listen, yeah, we love him like family too. I mean, he's done so much for us over the past 2 years.
He's the only reason I get on their show.
Right?
he does a lot for everybody. Like he does a lot for everyone.
He's an amazing person. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, you are too. I mean, I know.
Yeah. Not nearly as much as he is. Not nearly as much as he is. I'm just saying. It's in the family. Gingers unite, right?
I guess.
We have to stop the stigma of gingers and show we have a soul.
Yeah, I don't know. Freaks with some serious strength. That's all I know.
But I must say, with them two guys, I mean, they grew it from just a couple people to now. Now it's a whole little podcast family, and it's it spans far over it, and it's just it's funny and crazy how what it was to what it is now is expanded to what it is.
What it is now and to what it's going to be over the next couple of years. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some pretty big shit coming.
Hopefully,
because at that point too, I mean, when we have guests on or whatever, I mean, especially with you guys, you bring your own style, we have our own style, and it's one of those things where I think guests like coming on. It's because it's so different,
Right.
I mean, you guys, like I said, have your own flair. We have our own style of doing it, and it's not your cookie cutter. Okay, what is this? Okay, I'm going to ask you the same question, and
right,
and it's. I think that's what endears, because we have people asking to come on. Could we come on again? To sometimes it's you have a guest on once and they never want to come on again. But
everything we do is unscripted.
Yeah,
and that.
Yeah.
Even
the movie was unscripted.
Is it really?
Yeah. Bill said, "Where's your script?" We handed him a fucking comic book.
Well, if it works, right? I mean, it's more natural that way. You said that you're not a good actor, but that means you're just not good at being yourself. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no. The thing is that me and Ben have known each other for so long that we can just interact.
Yeah.
There's a chemistry there that is just natural.
Yep.
And so my job is to pull that out of them, to find it, to make it flow. We have a great editor, Jude, and we sit down and we go, okay, now see how they did that. That's you can't write to grasp that stuff. It's just comes out naturally. And so our job is to really highlight that and make it make sense as it naturally comes. And yes, it's difficult because you don't have a script to follow it, but a lot of times I just storyboard it out and know I would rather them let go and then pull it from them, because that's who they are. That's what the comic book is. And realistically, you couldn't script that. It just makes it much more real.
Yeah. So you just do like a start at point A, we have to end at point B.
Well, we discuss what the scene's going to be. I'll sketch it up, say these are going to be the shots. This is what I want you to do, but this is the topic. You guys wrote it, and we'll change it a little to make it, work for the next cut, and then give it to me. And so I'll have a starting point. I'll go in and see what we can capture.
Well, it's kind of like, here's the scene. We spend all day, we build a set like a dispensary set or something, and then all the lighting's done, and Bill's ready to go, and we think we're ready to go. And it's like, okay, so walk me through it. You walk in here and say whatever it is that you're going to say. Basically.
One of the things is they always say that that's the kind of reality TV, but it really isn't, because I've done enough reality TV to know that, that's more scripted than this is. Yeah. But when you have a flow between two or three characters, whether it's Abbott and Costello or it's, these jokers, you want to capture that. You want to capture that naturalness, and you do a setup and you see where it flows, and then our job is to make it, become as natural as possible. And they know each other so well, so that helps.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that if you hired just two actors to play these guys. It wouldn't be the same.
That kind of relationship is also when we do puppet characters and stuff. There's a relationship that's built between the puppeteers. They'll know how I'll perform. I'll know how they'll perform. I'll know how they'll react. They'll know how I'll react. And when you have that flow, it doesn't matter what the lines are at that point. As long as it creates a storyline, the naturalness really comes out, and then it's our job to meld it together.
Nice.
Well, sometimes too, if I'm watching a movie, especially like a horror movie, and you watch it and you're like, well, in this situation, I don't think I would have did that. So at that point, more spontaneousness or, lack of you're always going to need some kind of script, but just you're watching a movie and it's like, okay, I wouldn't have run upstairs. I would have ran out the front door or something along those lines. So when it's like, I'd have to sit down and watch the first episode, but I'm sure you two will act like what would actually happen in a zombie film, as opposed to, okay, now we're just going to, I myself would probably just keep on running, just keep on going, and don't stop one place, just keep on. Well, me running, I wouldn't be able to run that fast, but I'd be able to drive
away. You mosey as fast as you could.
Exactly.
You're going to be faster than the guy next to you. Just remember that.
This is true.
I mean, the best thing about it is that there's a natural rapport. They know how to talk to each other, and they know how to deliver each other. So since they wrote it, they're very connected to it because it's based on them. Yeah. So realistically, whatever's going on, they're going to react to it because they are those real people. So it's letting them flow. Now, if I see something that doesn't work, then I say, okay, well, let's go this direction. I'll change the camera angle, and let's pick up here. And a lot of times, it's just something you cannot script.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's also, we've had many times where you watch a movie and it just flows different when the actors know each other, as opposed to, okay, you can get 10 big names on a thing and they don't flow together. They could be the greatest actor ever, and it just doesn't. You look at it and it's like, okay, you can definitely tell it's acting. And at that point, it's like, okay, then you get, we got lower budget people on that. We've said it before, where a movie with $100,000 budget looks like $1 million movie because everything flows together. It just seems like they like each other. Then there's other movies that are just like
$100,000 budget. We got to get some bigger sponsors.
Well, these are feature movies that are trying
Yeah.
to, you know.
Oh,
They're-
I was gonna say, man, $100,000. Fuck.
I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong. We have other movies with way lower budgets, like way lower.
Well, you know
So-
what? It's also you can write when the writer writes, he writes for a series of characters. When characters that know each other perform well, that's a natural feeling that comes across them. They know each other well. You can see that they know each other well. They know how to respond, and they're not reading. It's just what's coming out in the dialogue, and that sometimes you just can't write.
Yeah. So with the series, like it's kind of up in the air how far you guys are going to go with it, right? Like as far as you don't know if you're going to just continue with it after issue 5.
Depending on it.
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping to just, keep it rolling. Comic books, comic book will come out a couple months later, a new episode of the series will come out. A couple months later, new comic, new series, and just keep it always being, a few months apart and fresh for our fans, friends, viewers, and,
Yeah.
or until he runs out of whiskey and can't stand us anymore.
Well, he's like, well, I've already got one of those things, and I have a glass of whiskey right here. So what is that?
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, you see, one of the things is that since here I kind of control the domain, so if I want to see something flow, we'll keep doing it. There's no reason. There's nothing saying, oh, well, we ran out of this or ran out of that and we got to stop. That's what ruins flow. So that was one of the reasons why I wasn't interested in them doing a movie, because at the end of the movie, there it is. It's done. Okay. And now what do you do with it? But you have a greater chance of longevity when you run with something and you work at it for a number of months or years. It only fails if you stop it.
Yeah.
Or somebody stops it for you. Here, it's really up to me.
So, I'm getting better at learning the camera.
You're pointing everywhere else.
So when we talked about it, I was not interested in a film with them. So it was just it's like
That was 3 years ago, right?
No, that when you guys asked me originally. Well, you tell that story.
Oh yeah, so for the viewers, or you guys ripped down the podcast as well, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So your listeners or viewers, whatever, however they're watching or listening to this. So we kicked off just about 3 years ago with our premiere issue, which had page 17, which was Kevin's favorite page.
That's right. Page 17 is where it's at.
Until we redid it and actually changed it and ended up being page 20.
No, 19.
19.
Stay with the story, will you?
So anyways, we met Bill at a con through our wives because they were taking pictures where they weren't supposed to be and got in trouble. So long story short, we ended up meeting Bill, explaining what we were doing. We had a meeting later on that weekend with him, and we were like, we'd love to do a movie about this. And he just looked.
Well, I want to interject.
Go ahead.
Because when we met him, he saw something. That's why we sat down and had a meeting.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? He saw entertainment in the cannabis world. That's what I think, right?
No, that's really
that was it. That's why that's how that interest started.
I skipped by the important part, I guess. I guess the important part was when we asked him about the movie, he looked at us and he said, "You ain't fucking ready." That was it. That was 3 years ago.
You're not ready yet.
Yeah, I threw the F-bomb in there just because
you asked me. You asked me again too, like maybe as we got together, and I was very curious of what you guys were doing, and then I said, okay, I'll tell you what, let's do the Ziffit thing and put it in comic book.
That's right.
And I said, I'll do that. And I was interested to see how that flowed and all that other stuff.
Yep.
And, they said, well, can we do a movie? And I'm like, no, you're not there yet. I said, I'm not interested. So they kind of went out on their own. They credit is due. They went off and they created the podcast that they do with your cousin. Mm-hmm. And they were really doing that. They were doing cons. They were creating, we talked about it and I said, you guys need to do all this, whatever that is. I said, you got a one-off what are you going to do with it? Write it or actually create other things. And I'm usually interested. Don't talk to me about it. Do things.
Right.
You know, so they did. They went off and they went and did the podcast. They did more comic books. They were doing shows. They were promoting. They were doing all kinds of stuff. So with that, I got to see a lot more. Then they came back and asked me, we want to do a movie? And I'm like, nope, not interested. I was doing a number of other things at the time anyway, not interested. So they actually went on their own to try to get other producers to do their film.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I guess that one producer, we're not going to mention names, came back and said, well, can you get Bill to, help me out and do this location or whatever the case may be? And I said, well, have that person call me. That person never called me. I wasn't going to go to them. They had to come to me. Got a little cocky there. So I said, no, and at that point, as things that fell apart, and then they came back and they said, we really like to do a movie. And I said, I'm not interested in doing a movie. I'm interested in doing a series. So if you want to do it as a series, let's do it this way. And that's how it happened.
Nice. Well, it's the story from the beginning to that is even, that's very interesting. So if you guys ever do like a release, like a physical release or anything, I'm just talking for the collectors here,
Oh, you're talking like a DVD or
or Blu-ray.
We've talked about that.
Yeah,
it'd be cool to do like some behind the scenes stuff, like some storytelling, of like how the whole thing came to be. I love that stuff.
Well, we've talked about actually.
we have talked about it, and a lot of people come up to me at shows, whatever, and that are producers or creators or something, and they say they either want to write a book or they want to do this or they want to do that. I'll give them advice how to do that. But to me, if you can do one, but the real talent is how many are you going to go further with it? Are you going to push it? Are you going to put everything behind it? And it shouldn't be just about money. It should be about art and talent and the pursuit of something.
Right.
So to me, I want to see what you're going to do. And then if I really see a lot of legs there or whatever, then I will see some interest. Because if you're just going to talk to me, wow, I could do it. Well, then don't talk to me about it. Do it. Show me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's good. I mean, you're surrounded with a lot of people that are
What happened? That's what happened.
You just showed him, huh? And he took interest?
Yeah, well, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to him.
I know.
So what you said about like having the heart behind it, it's not all about money. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are just about money in that industry, in this industry, and everything, So
I've been doing this for close to 50 years.
Yeah.
If you're in this industry for just money, then forget it. That's not what it's about. It's about the love of the industry, love of the art, the people around you, the crew, the talent you have. That's what builds
and doing something fun.
An element. And then money comes, along with it. You need to have it, we wouldn't have built this facility if it wasn't the case, but that's not what started it.
No. It's not what started it for us years ago.
No. And it's true to this day. It's not about money, because if it was, man, we wouldn't be doing it.
A lot of people say, I want to get rich doing film. I said, go to the casino. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Try there first.
Sometimes I feel like a dummy because we had a guest on for the mortuary collection recently, and he does a lot of like one-off like TV show and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, it's cool. You make a living doing it. He's like, no, I don't. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed you did. And he's just like, no, you don't know Hollywood. I'm like, no, you're right. I don't.
Right. The secret of success in this industry is not money. It's longevity.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things too. I mean, all the stuff that you worked on, it's lasting. Like there's so much stuff that will be in the lore of, nowadays these big budget movies and all this stuff. I forget half the titles because, it's big bang boom. It's the stuff that has heart that I mean, you look at some of these movies that in the box office, they were maybe didn't make a lot of money, but now are, you look at Home Alone and stuff like that. That movie will be totally off, topic and whatever, but it's just one of those things where it's like there's certain movies that, that will last forever, which were made for nothing or didn't think there was going to be anything. And it's just for like generation upon generation. So it seems like that's what you're talking on is, the love of the business and making movies that, people would, love to see.
And it's projects you can pick on. I mean, the thing is, if it's always about money, then you're going to just pick for that, or you're going to pick for the creative. You're going to pick for the fun of it. You're going to pick for you just jive with these people, and those are the things. And when you're in a situation and been in it as long as I have, I can pick and choose what I want to do and what I don't want to do. So. That's what I like about it. Yes, I did. That's why I have whiskey, because you're still here.
How do you guys? So I don't understand how you guys still have a job. Like, how do you guys still work? You guys are all over the place. Like, how does that even?
I'm self-employed. I've been self-employed my whole life.
I've been self-employed ever since I stopped working more or less for him and his father. So what was that, like 20 years?
25 years.
25 years ago.
Okay.
So
yeah.
But 49 this year. So I was 14.
Longer than that.
Well, I worked for you guys for a long time.
You were like 15, 16 years
Oh, well,
old?
yeah. No, I started working for you guys 34 years ago.
Right.
It was right after I met you.
Right.
But right after I stopped working for the company that they had, I went into business.
Fired him. He sucked.
Yeah.
For 30 years.
But I self-employed. I'm going to be 49. Oh, God. What?
God. My son, who just came in here, is only 4 years younger than you.
Yeah. Your career's older than me.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Technically, your career is as old as you because how old were you when you first started all this? Like when you really first started all this?
He was sticking his hand in things when he was 12.
No, I was
when did you appear in the newspaper?
Oh, 5.
So you were 5. So you were 5 years old when you appeared in the newspaper because the person that was going to do it,
which technically
didn't work out right.
2 months, that would be 59 years ago.
Okay.
Well, anyways, you don't look it, Bill. You look younger than you are. So, and you're
thanks.
and I'm sure that the what you're doing for work keeps you young. Because you enjoy what you do and you're good at it.
Quick.
Let me tell you, I'm just going to warn you right now, Kevin. If we can get you to come down at some point to the studio here, don't try to keep up with them.
Okay.
It won't happen. There are bicycles.
Nice.
So you could keep up with him if you wanted to, but he's walking.
Okay.
And yeah, it'll be like, so Bill, but where the hell did he go now? And he's gone. It's like Harry Houdini, man.
That's funny. So totally off subject of Toking with the Dead. Bill, are you doing anything else? Like, are you doing more Monster TV stuff, or are you gonna?
Actually, yes, we're filming in Monster right now. Actually, Monster TV is moved out of that studio for 2 weeks because we're doing another independent film called Dead NZ, which is another zombie film that starts shooting next. Well, it's been shooting. They're shooting here. Also doing a series of commercials for companies that we normally do. And we have the Ziffid Zombies, which is in the comic book. Now that's a film. And we have Moonshins, and then we go back in for Monster TV and all the other stuff that we wind up doing all the time.
Nice. Well, I was curious on how you get that to work as well, but there's off time between
There is no off time.
For me?
Well, no, I'm saying like besides working for them, like you're doing other stuff as well consistently. So that's awesome.
Yeah, there's stuff going on all the time.
Yeah, I'm having trouble keeping him on track. Focus. Come on. This is our job here. You're working on hours now.
I mean, in reality, we're really down here 5 days out of the month filming.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a lot of time.
It's not, no.
The other videos that you see is when we come down on the weekends, we're building basically a town
Yeah, it looks awesome. It looks really cool. Like that alone. Like I'm curious to see how that comes into play down the road as well.
And that's part of the fun about what we're doing is that, people ask me, so what's it like to be an actor? And it's like, well, that's only a little piece of it. The fun part to me is actually, building the sets, designing this. What is this going to look like? Oh, well, let's drag this over here. This will work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we built the roof set and we built the dispensary. You know what I mean? So being involved in that end of it really makes it, I think, more fulfilling than just, okay, you're up, go do your part.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You guys are good at it. Like that's what you do for a living, right? You do control.
We've learned that, yes, Jeff and I are both in the construction industry, but building sets and building false fronts of stores and things, it's not the same.
Well, I mean,
it's a lot thinner.
Well, lighter for a camera.
Right.
So
yeah, but it's in your wheelhouse. It's in your wheelhouse as far as like the actual putting it together.
Right.
So that's cool. I mean, I see stuff like, I think Jeff, you just posted something, you were selling some shelving or whatever, and I'm like, it's beautiful. Like it's great.
That's what I do. That's my woodwork.
Yeah. And it was awesome. And I'm like, that's talent right there. It's so it's cool that you guys get to work that in there as well. But
here at the studio, we have a very diverse crew that everyone gets to. And when people are in projects, I really like them being involved with all of the elements, not just, oh, you're going to stand there and be an actor.
Right.
My puppeteers could be editors and work on lighting and stuff. So they really get to know how everything works. And that's the way we have done it for, almost 50 years. And that's a lot of what happens here is getting all that kind of talent and then draw from those different crafts that other people have and say, okay, you would be good for this and you would be good for that. And then teaching them new things and, saying, okay, this is how this works, but you could add to that, so it's a lot of that. And that's what filmmaking is about.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, and plus the added addition of, the puppet thing too. Learning how that process works and watching you make what you make. And it's astounding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you make that out of it with such crap?
Well, that's what I'm working with. I meant you guys. Sorry.
Sculpting you as well. Right. Anyways, so it's just about that time, guys. I appreciate it. And definitely keep us posted if anything changes, with new episodes or whatever you want to call them, issues or videos.
Anybody can keep up. Just go to stilltoking.com. All the information on, that's there's pictures, or follow us on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
We're updating regularly.
Yeah.
And theme stuff, so you can follow all
Instagram. I mean, I think we told you that before. We're on basically every social
everything.
Media.
Yeah.
But you definitely want to go to the website because that's where you can really see everything.
Yeah. And also for the listeners, go, if you haven't already checking out Still Toking With, go check out the podcast. It's also on the Toking Podcast Network. And Bill Diamond Productions. Where are you on social media?
At Bill Diamond Productions.
Yeah. Do you have like an Instagram or anything, or is it?
Or you can see what on Toking with the Dead, or Bill Diamond's Facebook page. So people run it for me. I'm too busy on the floor.
Yeah, sounds it. But yeah, again, appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming on, guys. And Tony,
thank you.
Yeah.
It was nice to see the two of you. It was nice seeing you guys.
Yeah.
Hope you come and visit.
It's been a while.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So, Tony, where can people find you?
You can find me at Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything movie related is on there. Tony Has Nine Fingers. I do TikTok now, where I do reviews on there as well. And then, like I said the last time, I'd go blind if I even tried to twerk. Anyway, Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me. And, of course, here on the Wicked Horror Show every Tuesday, Kevin.
Knuckle on Instagram every Tuesday night doing the Wicked Horror Show, doing Wicked Horror reviews with the 13th Wolfman over on the audio side. Also part of Black and White Fright and Secret Underground Hideout, all of which are on the Dorkening Podcast Network. Go to thedorkening.com for more information there. Thanks for listening and have a good night. Goodbye.